When you look at what the media has now come out saying, take a peek here. These are some of the headlines that came out the very next day after the debate. President Biden is my friend. He must bow out of the race from Tom Friedman. You have Frank Bruni saying Biden cannot go on like this. Patrick Healy, I'm hearing high anxiety from Democrats over Biden's debate performance. And then Christoph saying, President Biden, it's time to drop out. I mean, the handwriting's on the wall, at least for everybody except for family members around him, which really makes you wonder. I mean, who needs enemies when you got friends and family like this? Jill Biden, who's trying to push him to run no matter what.
What you saw last night on the debate stage was Joe Biden, a president with integrity and character, who told the truth. And Donald Trump told lie after lie after lie. Oh, you're good. You're so good.
So why don't you just run her? Or better yet, why not Hunter? Did you see him at the award ceremony?
The risk of this mission,
look at that.
Of all this mission,
he's at an official ceremony at the White House. You wonder who's running the country right now?
Philip, George, all the
this gentleman
given a chance to walk
and the wife
away.
of the president have a heck of a lot of power. And that's not right.
Away.
That's not right. He's not in good shape. We all know it, and yet everyone's still trying to cover for him. You know, it's funny. Even Jake Tapper, who a few weeks ago actually got all over Lara Trump because he accused her of making fun of stuttering. And she was emphatic. She's like, no, Jake, I'm not making fun of people who stutter. I'm making fun of the fact that the president can't get his words out. And Jake was all mad, right? Because Jake is doing what he's supposed to, good little reporter there on CNN. He's doing exactly what he's being told. I think he got different marching orders, though. And now you got the Obama people saying it's time to take him down. Time to take him down because we can't win like this. And so that's exactly what he's doing. Watch him here sort of shocked that fake news really is fake, right? That Karine Jean-Pierre is not to be believed when she says the president is fine.
The White House also said today that the president is, quote, absolutely not thinking about stepping down. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said that President Biden is, quote, as sharp as ever, unquote. As sharp as ever, she said. She said that. But there...
So now, which is the cheap fake, I ask? Don't you love this meme? Any unedited video of Joe Biden's cognitive decline that the Biden administration does not want the public to see. That's what we had to hear KJP tell us, and the Washington Post for that matter, and others. Every time we'd show something where he didn't seem to be quite right, we were guilty of cheap fakes. Well, now, guess what? They're having a hard time. I mean, even his former press secretary is saying you can't sugarcoat this one.
Wagner with California Governor Gavin Newsom. Many thanks to you both. Jen Psaki's joined us here at the table. Jen, what was your reaction to the debate, and what are you hearing from people you've been talking to over the course of the night?
Well, I've been listening to what you all have been saying, and I don't think we should sugarcoat this. This was not the debate performance that the Biden campaign team wanted or needed from this debate, in part because they wanted to do this debate as early as they did to change this up, right? Mm-hmm. To bring the Joe Biden who is at the State of the Union to the debate stage. That's not the Joe Biden who showed up at the debate stage. You could see inklings of that or wrinkles of that or whatever you want to say at the post-debate event, right?
In the very last answer of the debate, and when all of a sudden it was like, oh, he's warmed up.
Yes, yes. And as you said, Rachel, he did improve as the night went on. His voice improved, his answers improved. He had a couple of moments. I thought his answer on calling out Trump's criminality was pretty good. He was a little garbly on abortion. If you're the campaign, you're going to push out the best moments, there were a couple, on social media. But it's not the debate they wanted. I think the biggest challenge for them, and Nicole's been talking about this a little bit, and we've sat in similar chairs, is how distracting all of the chatter is going to be, which we're all getting on text, on email, about whether he should be replaced. That chatter is happening. People are asking questions. I don't mean it's from the American public writ large, and we don't know how they feel, and we won't know for some time. And if you look at history, this may not impact them at all. But the chatter is very distracting, and it's going to be very consuming for the campaign. Should he be replaced? They're going to be answering that question instead of breaking through on attacking Trump.
May I ask? I asked Joy.
Yeah, but I think that question has been answered. I mean, it really has. And so it gets you back to Kamala Harris. Vice President Kamala Harris, the New York Times writes, has spent a year trying to quiet her doubters. With President Biden's candidacy on the line, Democrats are assessing her odds. So there's an article leading the New York Times right now called The Reintroduction of Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was in charge, do not forget, of the border. Well, we know that the border is one of the biggest issues besides inflation for America right now. And she has so clearly failed spectacularly on the border, wouldn't even go to the border, don't forget, for a very long time. So realistically, when you see polls like the one I just showed you, when you see that she is actually more likely to lose to Donald Trump than President Biden, then the question really becomes, who have they got? Who have they got? They know they got to do something. Here's one of Obama's former team players, Van Jones on CNN.
I can walk you through how I'm supposed to see it and say it, but I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that. But that was not what we needed from Joe Biden, and it's personally painful for a lot of people. It's not just panic, it's pain for what we saw tonight.
So here we are now looking at possibly Kamala Harris running for the presidency. Now, what's really tricky, you see, is again, if they were to say, no, we're going to give it to Gavin, and Gavin Newsom and Gretchen Whitmer are going to come in, then how is that going to make their black constituency feel? She's black, she's a woman, and she's getting passed over. They've actually created the perfect storm for themselves. I mean, you can't make it up. Unless, of course, this was intended all along. We're going down a rabbit hole, but I still say that Michelle Obama is lurking out there. And she's probably the most competitive person they have. And she's black, and she's a woman. Right? She's checking all the boxes. The other option is, we'll bring Obama back. Former President Obama, we'll put him on the ticket. Make him vice president alongside Joe. Well, again, that's not good for Kamala, and women are not really going to like that. And so I think they're really up a creek without a paddle. I don't know what they do in this situation, but they got themselves, and it's their own darn fault, in a really bad spot because they will not cultivate and bring up their own. Joe Biden has some really sharp elbows for such an old guy. And he's just shoved everyone aside, and he keeps on doing that. And he thinks he's in this to win this. And of course, he's got the wife and the son along for the ride. Here's Joe. Oh, you know what? I'm not young anymore, but I still got it going on. Yeah, right.
Let me close with this. I know I'm not a young man. State the obvious. Well, I know. Well, I don't. Folks, I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to. But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong. And I know how to do this job. I know how to get things done. And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
There's no getting up from this one, though, Joe. You got knocked down a little bit too far this time around.